You know that feeling when someone asks you, "Do you trust me?" And something inside you just pauses. Not because you don't like them, not because they've done anything wrong, but because that question alone, for simple words, suddenly feels like the most dangerous thing anyone has ever asked you. That pause isn't weakness. That pause has a story behind it. And today, that story is going to feel very familiar. Think about the last time you genuinely trusted someone. Not politely, not strategically, but truly, completely, without calculating the risk first. Hard to remember, isn't it? Because somewhere along the way you stopped doing that. Not all at once. It didn't happen in a single dramatic moment like in the movies. It happened slowly, quietly, in the small, ordinary moments that no one else even noticed. Maybe it was a friend, someone you told a secret to, a real one, not the kind you share at parties. And one day, that secret became a joke in a group chat you weren't in. You found out. You laughed it off. But you never told that person anything real again. Maybe it was a parent, someone who was supposed to be the safest person in your world. And instead of safety, what you got was dismissal. You're being too sensitive. Stop overreacting. So you learned to stop sharing. Or maybe it was someone you loved. Someone who looked you in the eyes every single day and was lying every single day. And when the truth finally came out, the worst part wasn't the betrayal. The worst part was realizing you hadn't seen it coming. That's the moment everything shifted. That's the moment your brain made a decision without asking your permission. Never again. Here's what most people don't understand about this. It's not trust issues. That phrase makes it sound like a glitch, like something broken that needs to be fixed. But what's actually happening is far more intelligent than that. Your brain has one primary job: not to make you happy, not to help you fall in love. Its job is to keep you alive. And the way it does that is by learning patterns. When you were betrayed, genuinely betrayed, by someone who was supposed to be safe, your brain logged that experience, stored it, labeled it. Danger disguised as love. Danger disguised as friendship. Danger disguised as the person smiling right in front of you. And now, every time someone gets close, your brain runs that file, checks for similarities, scans for signs, stays one step back, just in case. Psychologists call this hypervigilance. It's the nervous system doing what it was trained to do. It's not paranoia. It's pattern recognition. The difference is the pattern it learned was from pain. So when you hesitate to open up, when you pull back just as someone gets close, that's not you being difficult. That's your nervous system doing its job, protecting you, the only way it knows how. But here's the part that most people never talk about. The people who can't trust easily, they are often the most loyal people you will ever meet. When you know how much it costs to be betrayed, you don't do it to others. You understand the weight of someone's trust because you know exactly what it feels like to have yours broken. So when you choose someone, when you actually decide this person is worth it, you show up completely. No half measures. No games. The people inside your circle don't get a watered-down version of you. They get the real thing. That's not a flaw. That's a standard. The world calls it cold, distant, hard to reach. But the truth is, you're not hard to reach. You're just not reachable by everyone. And there is a profound difference between those two things. If you're this person, you already know what this looks like in real life. It's that pause before you answer, "How are you honestly?" It's reading a message 3 times before deciding how much to share. It's being the most loyal person in the room to the very small number of people you've let in. It's the way you notice when someone's tone changes slightly, how you remember what people said 6 months ago, how you quietly check whether someone is consistent between Monday and Friday. It's preferring one deep conversation over 10 surface-level ones. It's finding it easier to be alone than to be around people who don't know the real you. And it's that specific relief when you finally meet someone who feels safe, who doesn't make you calculate everything, who just feels like rest. But I have to be honest with you about something, because this is where it gets hard. Sometimes the wall stops being protection and starts being a prison. When you start assuming betrayal before it happens, when you test people instead of trusting them, when someone shows up consistently, genuinely, patiently, and you still can't let them in, that's not wisdom anymore. That's hypervigilance. And hypervigilance is loneliness with a logical explanation. There's a difference. Trusting slowly because you're thoughtful, that's wisdom. That's self-respect. But never trusting at all because every new person carries the face of someone old. That's not protection anymore. That's punishment. And the person being punished is you. Healing doesn't mean becoming someone who trusts blindly. It doesn't mean forgetting what happened or pretending it didn't shape you. It doesn't mean lowering your standards. It means learning to read the difference between a pattern and a person. Not everyone who is warm has an agenda. Not everyone who stays consistent is waiting to leave. Some people are genuinely different, quieter, more careful with others because they've been hurt too, more honest because they know what dishonesty costs. You are allowed to go slowly. You are allowed to need time. You are allowed to watch before you open, and to open only when it feels right, not when someone else decides you should. But going slowly is different from standing still forever. The most guarded people, when they finally let someone in, love in a way that is almost frightening in its depth. Because they don't give access to just anyone. So when they give it, when you give it, it means something real. That kind of love. That kind of loyalty, that kind of presence. It doesn't come from people who trust everyone easily. It comes from people exactly like you. So the next time someone calls you closed off, or cold, or too guarded, don't rush to apologize for it. You're not broken. You're not damaged. You're not difficult. You're someone who learned the hard way that trust is not a gift you hand to strangers. It's something rare, something precious, something that has to be earned. And the people worth having in your life will understand that. They won't pressure you to open faster. They won't punish you for needing time. They'll simply stay. And one day, not all at once, but slowly, you'll realize the wall is a little lower than it used to be. Not because someone forced it down, but because for the first time in a long time, you didn't feel like you needed it quite as high. That's not weakness. That's the bravest thing you'll ever do.
Kindly subscribe, like and share and hit the bell icon.